So the last book in the book of Proverbs is written by Lemuel, and we were told that there are two books in the book of Proverbs that are written by different people. One is written by Agul in chapter number 30, and Lemuel in chapter number 31. So let's read chapter number 31, the words of King Lemuel's mother. The words of King Lemuel, the utterance which his mother taught him. So this the mother taught him. What, my son, and what, son of my womb, and what, son of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to that which destroys kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, that is the mother talking to Lemuel his son. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, O Lemuel, nor for princes intoxicating drink. Lest they drink and forget the law. The mothers will always advise, and pervert the justice to all the afflicted. Give strong drink to him who is perishing, and wine to those who are bitter of heart. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Open your mouth for the speechless. In the cause of all who are appointed to die, open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. So we read about the virtuous wife here who Lemuel is advised by his mother maybe to get. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her womb is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her. So he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax, and willingly works with her hands. She is like the merchant's ship. She brings her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night, and provides food for her household, and a portion for her maidservants. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits she plants a vineyard. She guards herself with strength, and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good, and her lamp does not go out by night. She stretches out her hands to the distaff, and her hand holds the spindle. She extends her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches out her hand to the needy. She is not afraid of snow, nor for household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. Oh my God. So that is continuing the book of Proverbs. Now we are in 22, the 31st chapter. So she makes a tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates. When he sits among the elders of the land, she makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is passing. But a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Hey, listen to what the virtuous husband says. The virtuous woman's husband has a position in the gates as an elder of the city. Some of his statutes come from his wife's reputation, not just his own. So the guy's reputation comes from the wives. I mean, his status comes from his wife's reputation. So you can imagine this wife is a real wife. The virtuous woman owns clothing, is far richer than linen or silk. She's dressed in strength and honor. That is the virtuous woman. Any woman who opens her mouth with wisdom deserves praise. Given all the information on this, on the use and misuse of speech in the book of Proverbs, a virtuous woman takes care to speak well. So, women, you have to know that you have to speak well. The virtuous woman is blessed by her family, by her children as well as her husband, as well as her husband. The words of verses number 29 are the blessing of her husband. The husband has to bless this virtuous woman because this woman, she surely deserves that. The many things I've heard her do, she just deserves this. Charm may be used for good or for evil. It is not necessarily bad, but its good use requires the fear of the Lord. The main theme of the book of Proverbs. Now, I want us to look at this is from Who Can Find a Virtuous Wife? Let us see who can find a virtuous wife. The verse begins with successive letter of the Hebrews alphabet. Some have thought that it may continue to the teaching of King Lemuel's mother, but it may also be an independent concluding unit, as the book of Proverbs begins with a prologue, which gives the goals of wisdom in general terms. So now it concludes with epilogue, which presents them in a case study. The opening words, who can find position this woman as an ideal phrase, a virtuous wife, speaks of excellence, moral worth, ability, and nobility, not just marital fidelity. Such a woman is the ideal of wisdom in action. These verses emphasize both hard work and skill. The woman they describe does these things. She enjoys finding her fulfillment in varied tasks. The words she rises while it is still night describes her concern for others. She gives of herself to care for the family and servant. Did you hear that? These words that she rises while others are. She rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household. That is chapter verse number 15. It describes her concern for others. She gives of herself to care for the other family members and servants. And she considers a field, that is like she buys and sells and builds her own resources. These words are remarkable in the light of the many restrictions placed on the women in the ancient world. Her merchandise is good. One of the avenues the woman exploits is a cottage industry in which she acts independently. She acts independently. The virtuous woman works not to get rich, but to give to the poor. She can be concerned for others because she has provided for herself. Hey, are there virtuous women these days? Is there a woman who can do all these things that we have read here? This is truly a virtuous woman, and may God help us. I don't know. May God help us to be virtuous wives, those that are married. May God help us, because this woman, she has to give out everything to others and gets nothing to herself. And this is we have understood that this scripture was written by Lemuel's mother to his son. And verse number 2 is where we see the mother asking the son, "What, my son? What? And what, son of my womb? And what, son of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to that which destroys kings." Lemuel's mother has to advise her son, not to give uh, his strength to women. Interesting. Yet, this Lemuel's son is still the same son who is going to get married to a virtuous woman. So may God help us.